Not everybody can afford or wants to afford or may want to put solar panels on their house or their businesses.
Welcome to The Switch. I'm Elena Casas. Solar installation in the US hit a new record in the first quarter of 2024. 11.8 gigawatts of new capacity was installed as the easing of supply chain bottlenecks brought down the price of solar panels. Under the Inflation Reduction Act, states get federal funding to encourage the rollout of solar. But of course, not everybody has a roof to put panels on. Community solar projects aim to connect renters and apartment dwellers with solar farms. And I'm joined now by Bruce Stewart, CEO of one such platform, Boston-based Perch Energy. Bruce, hello. How does this work for the customer then?
Not everybody can afford or wants to afford or may want to put solar panels on their house or their businesses, right? Maybe because they're a tenant, right? Maybe it's because there's too much shade or it doesn't have the right direction. Those things are required, right? And so at the end of the day, you're able to have a solar project that can be built quite efficiently. It doesn't have to worry about the nuances of your rooftop. It can be built quite efficiently at a broader scale, so cost effectively built and then maintained quite cost effectively over a 25-year period. And then we can bring that value to everyone.
At the end of 2023, community solar provided 7.3 gigawatts of power across the US, out of 139 gigawatts of total solar capacity. The industry aims to get to 30 gigawatts by 2030. Federal subsidies are playing a big role in getting there. Perch subscribers earn government-enabled clean power credits that give them between 5 and 20% off their bills, and Perch passes their payments to solar farms.
They've been a key boost. There have always been state-based incentives. So, whether you're New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, like a whole variety of states in the U.S. provide state-based benefits. The Inflation Reduction Act adds an additional set of benefits.
Does that mean there's a concern, though, about whether those schemes will continue to be sustainable in the longer term financially if there's a change of government, for example, a change of policy over solar subsidies?
Again, the way to think about it at a federal level, right? I mean, the Inflation Reduction Act is in place. Should elements of it be repealed? Sure, that could adjust it. But there's a whole variety, over 20 different states that have enabled it.
Perch Energy makes money from connecting solar providers to paying subscribers. A collapse in the price of solar panels has also made their installation much more affordable. Last year, imports of panels to the US more than doubled, partly thanks to a waiver on tariffs on a handful of Southeast Asian countries, where many Chinese firms have moved production. That waiver has now expired.
You're always looking at where tariffs are. You're always looking at what the competitive rates are for any supply. There are increasingly more incentives now for U.S. manufacturers to step up. And that's been part of the reason for the climate bill as to how do we actually bring some of that production back here as well. So you're always looking. Every business, no matter what you're doing, is always looking at your supply costs.
At the moment, only about 6% of US electricity comes from solar power. Obviously, a wider rollout would require more land to put solar farms. Where are these farms going? How is that land being found?
Sure, it's not only land, but it's rooftops. It's brownfield sites, so former sites where you can basically, and there's different ways to mount it. We're seeing on top of blueberry patches. We have a great example where we have a solar farm that sits on top of blueberry patches as well. It actually helps the cultivation and growing them with an element of shade that gets mixed in. And so we're really quite creative.
How optimistic are you, though, Bruce, that the US is decarbonising its electricity supply quickly enough?
If you actually look at what is being installed in the US, the clean energy side, whether that's solar or wind, is sort of outpacing any other net new generation being added into the grid. Texas is of all places is a great example where historically oil and gas centric market is one of the largest sort of pushes for more clean energy being added on in the ERCOT grid, as it's called here. So there's quite a bit of activity. So it's exciting. It's really exciting to see.